It's the Date Master, and yes, we're back again with another banger. Shout out to my guy, Hardcore Tito, aka General Tito, for the shout out yesterday on the Passport Brad. Definitely got to give a kudos and a shout out to the fam. What we're going to get into today, we're going to check in on this Amber Rose sound bite. She's going to be single forever, and the recent Lala Anthony. I'm not sure what her maiden name is, but I will get into the fabric of that in just a moment. This is going to be the new normal. Shout out to my guy, the New Normal Podcast. Make sure you go subscribe. What you're looking at now, when women, this is why they have these sayings that women are like kids. When a kid is spoiled and they cannot get their way, they say they don't want anything. For instance, if they say they want McDonald's and you say, well, no, we're getting Churches, we're getting Popeyes, we're not eating McDonald's, we're eating healthy. You notice how they throw a temper tantrum? This is the spoiled child who's been given everything and not had any responsibility or had to work or received any discipline. Normally will come from a matriarchal based family. The father really is just a billfold. He doesn't lead. He does not have the proper presence. But this is a spoiled child that says, well, if I can't eat what I want, I'm not going to eat anything. So this is the same reaction that you see grown women display. Now because they can't get the top level guy who's beat all type of odds by making it to the NBA, by making it to multiple six-figure salaries and tax brackets, by having astounding bodies of work. Amber Rose is tied to Wiz Khalifa, who pretty much is a multi-millionaire, who sold millions and millions of records, has his own strain of cannabis, multiple business ventures. He doesn't work. And then she moves on. She started out with Kanye. He doesn't work. She moves on, and so on, and so on, and so on. James Harden. You could tie it to a few different guys. So when it doesn't work for her, because she wants the men to accept her past, but she doesn't want to accept the man's nature. She wants you to accept her past, but she doesn't want to accept your nature, because you really can't dictate your nature, but you can dictate what you do. You can dictate the choices you make. If you want to sleep around with men, you'll get sleep around with men treatment. If you want to gold dig and use men for money or whatever the case may be, you're going to get that treatment. So now Lala Anthony is saying marriage is no longer a goal for her after she divorces superstar basketball player Carmelo Anthony, ex-basketball, NBA basketball player Carmelo Anthony. But you notice one thing. She didn't divorce his last name. When you look her up in the credits, when you look her up in interviews, news articles, media, any media press, why does she still carry his last name if she's no longer married to him? If she divorced, if she doesn't want anything to do with him, why haven't you given him back his last name so he can give it to another wife that he can find? Because think about this, if he gets married, how can my ex-wife and my current or future wife have my same last name? This is the society that we are in. They think they can do whatever they want to do. Kenny Smith went through the same thing, I believe, years ago. His wife divorced him, but wanted to keep his last name because it carried weight. The same thing Lori Harvey is doing by latching on to Steve Harvey's name. Think about how I would feel as a father if my child, daughter, or son wanted to get the name of another man simply because he has more fame than me, simply because he has more notoriety than me. And you know the mother pushed this agenda. Well, I'm marrying him, so you're going to take on his last name because he's going to put you in the game. He's going to give you the status and the recognition that you need to excel in Hollywood and other areas. So if Lala Anthony says marriage is no longer a goal, why do you still have your ex-husband's last name? Going back to Amber Rose, I'm going to be single forever. If they can't have exactly what they want, which changes by the day. These women are duplicitous, and I've said this before in previous videos. These women are duplicitous at best. They say one thing and do another. They complain about one thing and then complain about the opposite result of it. Men are not approaching me. That's violence. When a man approaches me, I'm scared because he may get violent. Which one is it? Which one is it? They have the mindsets of children because they've been coddled and treated as children because society has not held them accountable. You can cancel Andrew Tate, but you can't cancel Cardi B. You can have courses in these schools that you try to reverse this alleged conditioning or indoctrination that Andrew Tate has done to boys, but you can't do that for the females, for the women, for the girls who show way more toxic behavior. All you have to do is just get on the internet. Endless videos of girls twerking, fighting, running people over with cars, deleting children on live. But you haven't counseled any female that has indoctrinated them to behave in such a manner. You see the hypocrisy. The women are now going to rage out. I told you I'm going to give the future forecast of dating. You're going to get those reports from me. You're going to now see a lot of women, and a lot of women have already adopted this anyway. I don't do relationships. I don't do this. Well, what do you do? Well, if I like you, if you're that top level guy, that's why I say on the envy video that I did yesterday, women are strategic in their get back. They plan it out. They seek out the right fish. But I always say, you dig one grave, you better dig two. Because you think you're playing on these men, and these men find out and they rage out. Just like Passport Brad. Just like Passport Brad, John Polos. Yeah, we're gonna say your name. Since you like to show us on TV and put our name in headlines of getting beaten and all of this, we're gonna say your name, John Paulos, however you pronounce it, who deleted his Colombian girlfriend and had her body in a suitcase. Yes, that guy. So you want to be single forever. This is going to be the new narrative because it justifies their lack of value to even get a relationship that they claim they're worth. They know they're not worthy of a faithful man, a God-fearing man, a man that's going to protect and provide. So they write it off altogether and say there are no good men left, when we know that's a lie, because we see them traveling to other countries getting women. Because it's not propagated in the media, they've tried to denounce it, or they tried to make it non-existent. Again, shout out to Austin Holloman. He just interviewed a couple who are living a lavish, pretty much, not, I'm going to say lavish, but a great lifestyle in Thailand. But you won't see that propagated in the media now, will you? If marriage is not a goal, give him back his last name, Lala. Because how is marriage not a goal, but you want to hold on to your last marriage? Your last marriage is a legacy, which is Carmelo Anthony. That's how you became to be a little bit more famous, by putting the Anthony onto your name. Because it was just Lala. You was a VJ on MTV or TRL or whatever show that was. But now that you're divorced, you still want to have his last name. That does not make sense. Amber Rose, you want to be single forever. And these are the women that get platforms to speak about this because they know they have an agenda to indoctrinate women just to create them to be independent workers, because they're the consumers. Right now we have pretty much a mini recession going on. But yeah, who's talking about going on vacation every 2 days? Who's talking about going on vacation every other week as if they've done some type of work to warrant a vacation? They know the women are the consumers, so they're going to condition them mentally to stay in a consumer's mindset, meaning I'm going to work to buy bullshit as much as I can. I'm going to work to go places just so I can show Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, etc., that I can afford to go to these places, that I can afford to wear these brands, that I can afford to drive this type of vehicle. So this is not a flex when women say marriage is not a goal or relationships are not a goal. That's not a flex. That is, you're projecting your lack of value that you know you don't possess the skills to be in said relationship or marriage. So you just float around, get what you can get until you run into that right one. And he hits that delete button. Now we're crying because we really can't get a backstory from the guy because he's going to be arrested immediately in a lot of cases, depending on his demographic. Depending on the dynamic and the demographic, he'll be arrested. So you really won't get his story. He won't tell you how she swindled him out. I think I have to do a story on this woman who was just arrested for defrauding a Holocaust survivor out of almost $3 million. $3 million, meaning that this is the privilege that a lot of women have to where she can go into the bank. They see these enormous amounts of wire transfers of almost $3 million and they don't bat an eye until it. So you mean now we need to raise a flag. I mean, yeah, we're at $2.8 million. Oh, something's wrong. Something wrong's at $2.8 million and not 100,000, not 20,000. You wait till it gets to 2.8 million. But that's going to be on another video. So, but yeah, the forecast is here. You're going to see a lot of women just pretty much go into their introverted spaces to where they don't want marriage anymore. You can't get a marriage anymore. That's the truth. That's the truth that they don't want to say. It's not that marriage is not a goal. You know, there is no man willing to marry that's going to be better than the man you just left, which is why you're still holding on to his last name. What man wants to date a woman? He'll sleep with you, of course, but what man would seriously want to date or marry you when you're holding on to the man that you just left last name? You can't make it up. You have to be a fool to think a man of value of a certain caliber is going to marry you and take you serious when you still have the last name of your ex-husband. You're such a beautiful fool. And Amber Rose, I mean, what more can I say? You did the slut walk, right? But I digress. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.